Hello my dear student, welcome back. How was the quiz? Pretty quick one, isn't it? Good, it's just an easy one on that one, alright? Welcome back to this sub lesson. We're going to talk about line of intercepting, okay? Now when I talk about line of intercepting, what is a line of intercepting, okay? When you have two lines, let's say I write one line and then I have another line, see that? They're intercepting. And there is a point of intercept, and this is what it's called, point of intercept. Alright, so if I got line A, B and X, Y, the point of intercept is right there, which is, let's say, E. That's the point of intercept. Now I want you to understand some of the characteristic when two lines intercept. The characteristic is this angle and opposite to that angle. See that? These two angles are called vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles, okay? Vertically opposite angles. So what's so special about that? They both are same. The vertically opposite angles, they are same angles. In other words, if I know the angle of the other side, and I will know this one will be identical to it. So if I say this is, let's say, 70 degrees. And what would this be? Also 70 degrees. This and this are also vertically opposite angles to each other. That means if I told you this is 110 degrees and this is also 110 degrees. See that? Look at that. Can I use double line? Double line. So that tells this two are identical. Single line, this two are identical. Okay, so very important to understand vertically opposite angles. So if I give you any type of two line intercepting, okay, this angle and this angle are vertically opposite angles. They're identical. If I tell you this is 35 degrees, 35 degrees, and what is this will be? 35 degrees as well. That means these two will be same. This will be 145 degrees. What would this be? 145 degrees. Okay, so I can give you anyway, any type. What about this and this? Yes. Once the two lines, a straight two lines intercept, the opposite, the vertically opposite angles are identical. That's it. Okay, so, right? So keep in mind, two lines intercept, two straight lines when they intercept, point of intercept is right there, and the vertically opposite angles are identical. Alright? Keep in mind. Okay, good. Well, let Mr. Mac erase the board and we'll talk about adjacent angle, complementary angles, and supplementary angles. Okay? I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Let's talk about adjacent. Okay? Adjacent angles. Okay? Now, adjacent angles refers to, let's say I give a certain any angle, all right? It can be less than 90 or greater than 90, all right? And I put another line to it. Then next to each other, A and B are adjacent to each other. That means A is next to B, B is next to A, and that's what adjacent, all right? So this particular doesn't have to be in certain angles, all right? So that means if I would give you this one is 45, there's no way for me to find B unless if I told you what the total of this angle is. Alright? Let's say if I told you the total angle this one is 75 degrees. Then I can find B because they're adjacent to each other. So, because 45 plus B, A plus B is 75. Okay? So, A plus B equals to 75 degrees. And I already know A is 45 degrees. Then I can find B by isolating B, by moving 45 degrees across the bridge. So B equals to 75 degrees minus 45 degrees. I line them up. 75 minus 45. 5 minus 5 is 0. 7 minus 4 is 3. So B equals to 30 degrees. See that? Adjacent. That's not adjacent. Okay? So keep in mind, adjacent means next to each other. Okay, A is adjacent to B or B is adjacent to A. Now let's talk about complementary angles. Complementary angles. When I say the word complementary angles, you're dealing with 90 degrees angle total, okay? 90 degrees. And then you have a section to it, a divided into two. And they're still adjacent to each other, alright? So in other words, if this is x and this is y, x and y are still adjacent, but the total angle for x plus y for complementary angles is 90 degrees. So the total angle for x plus y when I'm dealing with complementary angles is 90 degrees. Okay, so that means x plus y equals to 90 degrees. I don't have to give it to you. I can tell you x and y are complementary angles. If x is 40, what is y? So if I told you x is 40 degrees and I want to find y, that means I substitute x with 40 degrees and I'm looking for y. So what do? I isolate for y, I have to move x. I isolate for y, I have to move 40 degrees. 40 degrees cross the bridge. What is doing 40 to y? It's adding. Addition cross the bridge become subtraction. So y equals to 90 degrees minus 40 degrees. So line it up, 90 and 40 minus 0 minus 0, 0. 9 minus 4 is 5. So it becomes 50 degrees. Y equals to 50 degrees. See that? Alright? So complementary. Okay? Total angle is 90 degrees. You're dealing with 90. So keep in mind, complementary. Now let's talk about supplementary. Supplementary. See the spelling, okay? Complementary and supplementary. Now when I say supplementary angles, we are dealing with 180 degrees. 180 degrees. And I put a line to it. In other words, R and S are supplementary to each other. Supplementary to each other. In this case, X and Y are complementary to each other. And you're dealing with what kind of angle? 90 degrees. When you're dealing with supplementary, 180 degrees. R and S. That means R plus S equals to 180 degrees. That's a supplementary. So Mr. Mac, how am I going to know which is complementary, which is supplementary? Well, keep in mind, 90 degrees and 180 degrees we're dealing with, okay? Which letter comes first? C comes first or S comes first? C comes first. Which numbers come first? 90 or 180? 90. There you go. Complementary is 90 degrees. Supplementary is 180 degrees. That's the way to memorize it. See that? Okay? So keep in mind, complementary C, 90 degrees comes first before you can go to 180. Am I right? Same thing, C comes first before you can go to S. So supplementary is 180 degrees. So that means if I had to give you R, so if I told you R and S are supplementary angles and R is 120 degrees and find S. So I know R is what? 120 degrees. Can I find S? Yes, because 100. Substitute R for 120 plus S equals to 180. And I'm looking for S. And what is 120 is doing to S? It's adding. Cross the bridge becomes subtraction, alright? Becomes minus, alright? So S equals to 180 minus 120. So line it up, 180 minus 120, 0 minus 0 is 0, 8 minus 2 is 6, 1 minus 1 is 0. That means S is 60 degrees. See that? So that is supplementary, that's a complementary, and this is adjacent. Adjacent, I have to give you this angle in order to find A or B if one of them is given. With complementary, I don't have to. I can just mention the word, it's a complementary A and B, and I give you one of the angle. You know right away the word complementary means you're dealing with 90 degrees. You should find one of them. Supplementary, same thing. when I say the word supplementary, you should be able to tell it's 180 degrees, and you should be able to find one other angle when I give you the other angle. Alright? Okay, good. Well, let Mr. Mac erase the board and let's do a few problems. Alright? I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Now let's say, for example, okay, now earlier sub-lesson we talked about parallel line. Okay, let's say Mr. Mac said I got two parallel line. Okay, I put an arrow like this. That tells you these two lines are parallel. If I to draw a line, intercepting line, the intercept line A and line B. Okay, now look at this. This angle and this angle called what? Vertically opposite angles, alright? Vertically opposite angles. Now, this angle and this angle also vertically opposite angles. When the line is parallel, I want you to remember this. It's called Z method. Okay? See that? So it's Z like that. See the Z? The inside angle are identical. If I say this is 30 degrees, this is also 30 degrees. See that? That means, what is this one? Also 30 degrees. What is this one? Also 30 degrees. See that? Now, what about this one? This is a straight line. And what kind of an angle would that be to each other? Supplementary. Remember the word supplementary dealing with 180. That means 180 minus 30 should be this one. Because we know that this plus 30 is 180. To find that angle, I take 180 minus 30. Okay? So, 180 minus 30. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 3 is 5. Bring 1. That means that's 150. If this is 150, what is this would be? Also 150. See that? That means what about this one? See the Z method? The Z kind of, this time kind of, I should say Z. I've been using the word Z. That's Mr. Mac using the American version of Z. Okay, okay, Z method. Okay. See this. Look at this Z. It's kind of widen up. So this, if it's 150, what is this will be? Also 150. Okay, so keep in mind we're using the Z method. All right. I know Mr. Mac was saying Z. It was a Z. Okay, Z was used. The letter Z is equal to letter Z. It's just the difference is in United States they pronounce it as a Z, and in Malaysia and those who have a British system pronounce it as a Z. All right. Okay. So this is Z. All right. See that's a one Z. So inside. See that right there. That Z, they're identical. When this Z, see the inside, they're identical. Alright? So keep in mind, as long the line has to be parallel, these are identical. Alright? Or, as long this line is parallel, these are identical. It's still a kind of Z shape. Okay? Reverted side. Okay, so that means if this is 150, this is also 150. If this is 30, this is also 30. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So when the two lines are parallel and you get a line of intercept. Okay, and then vertically opposite. Okay, they are identical. 30, 30. So if I have to give you a problem, I give you two parallel line, and I got a line of intercept, okay? And I told you this is 45 degrees, and I want you to find this angle, X. Is it possible? Yes. How is that, Mr. Mac? That's 45 way there. How am I going to find this one? Well, let's do it together. First, if this is parallel and there's a line of intercept, and what is this two called? Vertically opposite angle. So that means this is also 45. Am I right? Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the Z method. Remember Z, the inside angles are same. If this is 45, what is this is going to be? Also 45. Now look at this. This is a straight line. If this is a straight line, that means these two are what? supplementary to each other. That means 180 degrees total. That means 45 degrees plus x equals to 180 degrees. Can I find x now? Yes, by moving the 45 degrees across the bridge. So when you cross the bridge, its addition becomes subtraction. So 180 minus 45. Line it up. 180, line it up with 45. 0 minus 5, I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring the 1 down. So x equals to 135 degrees. That's 135. Earlier it looked like impossible, isn't it? Looked like, oh, Mr. Mac, how am I going to do it? But using all that vertically opposite angle, the Z method, and the supplementary angles method, we found it. Alright? So remember that, okay? Okay, good. Let Mr. Mac erase the board. So we'll do more problems. Let's understand more. Alright? I'll be back within a few seconds. Alright, my dear students. Let's say, for example, Mr. Mac gave you an angle. So this is A, B, C. And I told you angle ABC equals to, let's say, 80 degrees. Alright? And I told you to find, let's say, x. And I told you this one is 45 degrees. See that? Now, x and 45 are what? Adjacent. Adjacent, next to each other. That's what adjacent means, next to each other. Alright? So to find x, I've been told ABC. That means angle, this angle. It's 80 degrees. So that means x plus 45 degrees equals to 80 degrees. To find x, I have to isolate x. Who got to go? 45 degrees. What is 45 is doing? It's adding. Addition cross the bridge becomes subtraction. So x equals to 80 minus 45. Line them up, okay? So we put 80, line them up with 45. 0 minus 5, I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4, it becomes 3. So x equals to 35 degrees. That's how you do with the adjacent problems, okay? Adjacent problems, I have to give you the angle. Now if I were to tell you complementary, find the complementary angle. If I would have just told you, find the complementary angle, fine, okay? Complementary angle for 35 degrees. You said, Mr. Mac, how am I going to find? You didn't give me anything more than that. Well, the word complementary should tell you what? You're dealing with 90 degrees angle. That means, actually, this is what I'm really dealing. If I had to interpret that in a form of a if I had to interpret this in a form of an angle, right angle, and I was given this is 35, and I'm looking for x. That's how it's interpreted. Alright? Because you're dealing with 90 degrees angle. So now I know that x plus 35 degrees equals to 90 degrees. X equals to 90 minus 35. Line them up. So 90 minus 35. 0 minus 5. I cannot borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. So that equals to 55 degrees. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Very straightforward, okay? Complementary. C, you're dealing with 90 degrees. What about supplementary? If I just tell you, find, so in this case I'm asking you to find, okay? Find complementary, okay? Angle. So if I just ask you, find supplementary. Angle for 115 degrees. That's it. I'll just give you like this. You say, Mr. Mac, how am I going to do that? I don't even know more than that. Actually, you do. The moment you see the word supplementary, you're dealing with 180 degrees. Very good. 180 degrees. If I were to translate that in a form of line graph, in a form of angle, line angle, right there, put a straight line. and I was given 115, and I know it's going to be 115 right here, and I'm looking for x. That's how you literally translate that into that form. So we know that x plus 115 degrees equals to 180 degrees. I'm looking for x. 115 got to go across the bridge. Addition across the bridge becomes subtraction. X equals to 180 minus 115. Line them up. 180, 115 minus 0 minus 5. I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. So x equals to 65 degrees. 65 degrees. Pretty easy, isn't it? So it's very important to understand complementary, supplementary, and adjacent. And we also dealt with earlier, when you have two lines parallel with the line of intercept, you use the vertically opposite angles, use the Z approach, and then you also can use the complementary or supplementary if that's required in that finding the answer. Alright, my dear student, that's a lot for you to learn. Let's do some hands-on practice. Alright, let's see what Pablo's doing. He's busy putting those hands-on practice for you, my dear students. He works really hard. You know why? He wants the best, just like Mr. Mac does. Alright, I want the best for you. And why? Because you deserve the best. Because you are the best. And remember, it's coming from the best. Alright, my dear student, give me a few seconds and I'll be back and we'll do some hands-on practice. Alright, my dear students, are you ready? Are you ready for some hands-on practice? Good. Well, let's call Pablo out. How about you call Pablo this time? Go ahead, call him. Call him. Alright, Pablo, come on over. Yes, alright. Alright, my dear students. Yes, Pablo, he's going to hand over the worksheet to you. Have fun with it, okay? Once you're done, invite Mr. Mac in, okay? Remember to pause the video. Alright? Okay, good. Here it is. Alright. Whoa, good. Looks like he gave you some good problems for you to work on, alright? Okay, let's do it together, okay? The first problem. You're given a diagram and then they're told that ABCD is a straight line. Alright, so let's do that. Let's draw the diagram first. Okay, you're given A, D, and then you got two lines intercepting. Alright, and then this is the point B, and then C and D. So I told you A, B, C, D is a straight line, and you got RS and TU. Okay, TU. And this is C, okay? So then we're told ABCD is a straight line. If angle RBC, okay? Angle RBC is what? 75 degrees. When they give something like that, write it out, okay? So this diagram, they didn't put it on for you, but they kind of expressed it out for you. They kind of say if angle RBC is 75 degrees and angle TCD, and this one right here, it's 150 degrees. Calculate angle ABS. This one right here. Look at that. You got two straight line intercepting. When two straight line intercepting, the vertically opposite angles are identical, the same. Alright, that means this is 75. What this will be? Also 75. So for A, angle ABS equals to 75 degrees. Why? Vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. Now how about angle ABR? ABR. If this is 75, what would this be? Oh, look at this, a straight line. What about this angle we're looking for? What are these to each other to? They are supplementary, because remember 180 degrees, straight line. So that means we are looking for, let's say, we're looking this one, let's say we put A. Okay? That means for B, the angle ABR. Okay? ABR. We're looking for angle ABR. And we know that A plus 75 degrees equals to how many degrees? 180 degrees. Why? Because a straight line. They both are supplementary to each other. And I'm looking for A. 75 got to go. Cross the bridge. Addition. Cross the bridge becomes subtraction. And then line them up. Okay? So 180. Line up with 75 minus 0 minus 5. I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 7 is 0. Bring 1 down. That means A equals to 105. That which is also ABR. ABR, which is 105 degrees. Okay? Very important. Alright. Now let's look problem C. Problem C said find the angle BCU. What's BCU? BCU. We're looking for this angle. So what would that be? Look at that. You got two intersecting lines. When they intercept, the vertically opposite angles are identical. They're same. So that means if this is 150, what this would be? 150 also. Okay? So that means BCU is 150 degrees. Right there. Pretty easy, isn't it? Straightforward, isn't it? Okay? So that angle is same as that angle. Okay? Alright, this C is referring to this point right there. So BCU, you're looking for that angle. Okay? Good. Okay, let's look problem number 2. Problem number 2, you say find the complementary angle of the following. A, 40 degrees. Now first let's write down the word complementary. The moment the word complementary comes, you're dealing with what angle? 90 degrees, because C. Another one is supplementary, is the 180, so 90 degrees. Okay, you're dealing with 90 degrees. A, they told you if it's a 40 degrees, what is the complementary to 40? 90 minus 40, because 40 plus the other angle should give you the total of 90. Okay, so that means 90 minus 40 is, line it up, 90 and 40, 0 minus 0, 9 minus 4 is 5. 50 degrees. So 40 and 90 are complementary. They total up to 90 degrees. Alright? Okay, let's look at B. B are given 65 degrees. So what do we do? Again, 90 minus 65. So let's line it up. Okay? So let's put 90 degrees and 65 minus 0 minus 5. You cannot borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2. So that gives me 25 degrees. Okay? Let's look problem C. C, 58 degrees. Same thing. We're dealing with complementary. So it's going to be 90 degrees minus 58 degrees. So let's line it up. 90 and 58 minus 0 minus 8. You cannot borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3. So that gives you 32 degrees. Okay? And then for D, 84 degrees. Same thing. You put 90 minus 84. So line it up. 90 minus 84. 0 minus 4. You cannot borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 8 is 0. So that means 6 degrees. So the key thing that I want you to understand from this problem is complementary is dealing with 90 degrees. Alright? So problem 3. Find the supplementary. You're dealing with 180 degrees. Alright? Let Mr. Mac erase the board so you have some room. Give me a few seconds. I'll be back. Alright, my dear students. Problem number 3. We're dealing with supplementary. Okay? So supplementary, the moment you see the word supplementary, you're dealing with 180 degrees, okay? 180 degrees. So you're given A 72 degrees. I want to find the supplementary to 72. That means I'm taking 180 minus 72. Because the total should be what, 180, so that means the supplementary to 72 would be 180 minus 72. So 180 minus 72. So line it up. 180 with 72. 0 minus 2, I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. So 7, and then 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 7 is 0. And then you bring 1. So 108 degrees. Okay? So let's problem B. B, you're given 155 degrees. And again, you're dealing with supplementary. So it's going to be 180 minus 155. Line it up. 180 with 55 minus 0 minus 5. I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. That's 25 degrees. Okay? And then C, 175 degrees. And again 180 minus 175. 80 degrees minus 175 degrees. So we line it up. Okay? So we put 180 and then 175 minus. 0 minus 5, you cannot borrow from 8, so 8 becomes 7, 0 becomes 10, 10 minus 5 is 5, 7 minus 7 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, so you got 5, okay, so that means 5 degrees. And D, you're given 15 degrees, and again you're dealing with what? 180 degrees, because it's supplementary, so you're going to take 180 minus 15 degrees. Alright, we line it up. 180, line it up with 15. 0 minus 5, I cannot borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7, 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 1 is 6. And then bring 1, which is 165 degrees. See that? The key thing I want you to understand from this problem is what? Supplementary, you're dealing with 180. See, I didn't give you the diagram. I just told you, and you already know how to do it. So pretty much, if you put a diagram, it would be in straight line. And then I told you, if this is 72 degrees, and what is, if this is 72 degrees, what is x? And that's what you pretty much did. And you know that x plus 72 equals to 180, and you're looking for x. So 180 minus 72. See that? With this one, same thing. I told you this is 155. And I want you to find what is x. And you know that x plus 155 degree is 180. X equals to 180 minus 155. Because it's plus, cross the bridge becomes minus. And that's how you did. 180 minus 155 gave you 25. Same thing with this one. 175. See that? And I'm looking for this one, x. So 175, that means x plus 175 degrees equals to 180. X equals to 180 minus 175 degrees. Right there. Same thing with that one too. Okay? If I translate this question in the form of a diagram. 180, complementary. Wrong. 180, supplementary. Alright? Okay, good. Let Mr. Mac erase the board and we'll do problem number 4 and I'll be back with you. Alright, my dear student, problem number 4. I got a diagram drawn on the board. The diagram below shows that AB, okay? AB and then CD and EF are intersecting lines, okay? They all are intersecting right there on that point right there, okay? Okay, so now they said find the value of R. That's R right there. Okay, we're looking for R. So how do I find R? Look at this. This line and this line are intersecting. That means these two are what? Vertically opposite line. That means, so these two angles are what? Vertically opposite angles. So that means if this is 15 degrees, what would this be? Very good. So R equals to 15 degrees. See that? And so let B, find value S. As this line and this line are intercepting, that means they are vertically opposite angles. That means if this is 85 degrees, what S going to be? Also 85 degrees. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, find the value of T right there, but there's nothing on the opposite side. But look at this is a straight line. This whole thing is what? 180 degrees. So we know that for C, 85 degrees plus T plus 15 degrees should equal to what? If it's a straight line, 180 degrees. 180 degrees. And you're looking for T. I can add this 2 and then take it across the bridge. So let's do that. 85 plus 15. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. 100 degrees. So that means T plus 100 degrees equals to 180 degrees. I'm going to take the 100 across the bridge because I'm looking for T. I'm isolating T. So plus across the bridge becomes minus. 180 minus 100. Line them up. 0 minus 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 1 minus 1 is 0. That means 80 degrees. So T equals to 80 degrees. If T is 80 degrees, if I just simply ask you what would this be? Also 80 degrees because they're vertically opposite angles. Alright? That's the purpose on this problem, just to make sure you understand the vertically opposite angles. Alright? Alright, let me erase the board and do problem 5. Alright? And I'll be back with you. Alright, my dear students, problem number 5. Alright? Okay, now you're given the diagram below shows that RS and PQ are parallel. Okay, so that means we put these 2 arrows. That means that both lines are parallel. Keep in mind, if 2 lines are parallel, they'll put an arrow to it. Okay, so parallel with MN intercepting the both lines. Okay, so intercepting both lines. So now they want you to find the value of U. So how do I find U? These 2 lines are intercepting. That means if this is 40, what U will be? Also 40. So for A, U equals to 40 degrees. Again, why? When 2 lines intercepting, the opposite vertically opposite angles are identical. Okay, vertically opposite angles are identical. And then what about V? Look at this, our Z method. When inside angle, when the 2 lines are parallel with a line intercepting, when it forms a Z, the inside angles are identical. U and V are same. For B, U and V are same. That means V equals to 40 degrees also. Because of why? The Z method. The inside angles are identical. Very important. The 2 lines has to be parallel. Then only you can use the Z method. Alright? Okay? So that means now we should be able to find C, which is what? For W. For W, how do I find W? Because this is what? 180. Complementary. V and W are, so 180. So V and W are supplementary to each other. Alright? So that means V plus W is what? So V plus W should be 180 degrees. And you know V, which is 40 degrees. 40 plus W equals to 180. And I'm looking for W. Who got to go? 40 got to go. Alright? Cross the bridge becomes minus. That means 180 minus 40. So W equals to, line it up, 180 minus 40. 0 minus 0, 0. 8 minus 4, 4. Bring 1 down. 140 degrees. You got it? Good job. See that? So now you understand all these terms: adjacent, supplementary, complementary, two-line, intercepting, the Z method, vertically opposite angles. So these are the things that you need to know, alright? Now if you think that you need to go back and brush it up to learn more, do it before you take the quiz, alright? I know Pablo's already excited. He already came out and say, alright, time for quiz. And he just challenged you too. I dare you. Yes, he means well. He wants the best for you, just like Mr. Mac do, alright? So go and have fun with the quiz. Now keep in mind, if you need to go back and review what Mr. Mac taught you in this lesson, do it, alright? It's a very important lesson because you're going to see this being repeated in your Form 2 and Form 3, and as well as you go to Form 4 and Form 5. So this is going to be plays a very important role. This is the basic, the foundation you're learning right now, alright? Alright, my dear students, have fun with the quiz, and this is the end of the lesson as well, alright? And I'll see you in the next lesson. I'll be waiting for you. Come, and I'm excited. We're going to start with another new lesson. It's going to be an exciting lesson, alright? Okay, have fun. Have fun with the quiz and come back and see Mr. Mac. Bye-bye.